Yo, what's up, guys? So today I'm going to tell you guys the crazy story about the time that me and my buddy got kicked out of the club. Now, this all happened on the night of November 22nd, 2023, into the morning of the 23rd, because I remember the next day was Thanksgiving. So on this night, for my friend's sake, I'm going to keep his name private. So we're going to call this friend G. So on this night, G hit me up and he's like, yo, you want to hang out, bro? I was like, all right, yeah, I'm down. So he's like, all right, bro, come over. So at this time, I was living in Albany/Cohoes area, and my friend G lived in Saratoga. And I'm telling you this because it'll make sense later in the story. So I told G, I was like, all right, bro, I'll see you in a little bit. So I get to G's house, and I was like, yo, bro, what are you trying to do? He's like, I don't know, bro. You just want to chill and hang out for a little bit? I was like, yeah, I'm down. So we're just hanging out. We're catching up. We're talking. We're playing Xbox. We watch some YouTube videos, and G likes to drink, okay? And at this time, I don't remember exactly what he was drinking, but I'm pretty sure he was drinking a Modelo because those were his favorite, or those are his favorite. And I don't drink, so he had some soda that I had. So I was drinking soda, and he was just drinking his Modelo's. We're just hanging out talking. I think we might have played some cards or something. We're just hanging out, have a good time, and we're just catching up because I haven't seen G in a little while. So we're just hanging out, and he's like, "Yo, bro, do you want to go to the casino?" I was like, I said, I don't really know, bro. I said, I don't really like to gamble. I said, I'm not too sure. He's like, nah, come on, man. It'll be fun. We'll just hang out. We'll go for a little bit, just have fun, walk around, just chill. I was like, all right, bro. I said, I'll throw $20 down and we'll go to the casino. He's like, all right, cool, let's go. So we get in my car and we drive to the Saratoga Casino. I forgot the name of it right now, but I'm just going to say the Saratoga Casino, okay? So we get to the casino and we walk in, security checks our IDs, and off we go into the casino. Now, G is way more familiar with the casino than I am because I guess he has more experience in that kind of field, whatever. So he wants me to play or try out these machines called the green machines. And the green machines, I believe, are $5 a hit. And they're really cheap and they're really easy to use. So we walk to the back and we start playing the green machines. He sits down and he starts playing it, and then I sit down and I start playing it. So I throw in my $20 into the machine and I go boom, 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 boom. 5 hits, 5, 10, 15, 20. And I put $20 in the machine, and I think I won like $150. I was like, I said, yo, I'm done, bro. I said, yo, I'm done. I don't know if it was beginner's luck or something like that, but I was done. I got my hit, and I won big. So I was like, yo, bro, I'm done. So I put in my $20 and I won big, won like $150 or something like that. And then I think G blew through like $200, and unfortunately, he didn't win anything. So the entire time we're at the casino, we're just walking around, having a good time. After I was done doing my one game, he was walk around, hitting some other machines. We're just talking. I think he grabbed a couple drinks at the bar, and we're just hanging out. We talked to a couple people that we met at the casino, just hanging out, having a good time. And then after that, I walked up to the front and I cashed out, and then we left the casino. So after we left the casino, it was still pretty early in the night. It was probably around like 10 or 11 at night. So we're just walking around, hanging out, and G was like, yo, bro, do you want to go to one of the clubs near Caroline Street? I was like, sure, bro, why not? I said, I'm down to have some fun tonight. All right, let's go. He's like, all right, bro. So we get in my car, and we drive somewhere near Caroline Street, and we park the car, okay? We get out, we're walking around, we're checking out some random clubs here and there, and then G was like, yo, bro, do you want to go to this one? And the name of this club was called the Saratoga City Tavern. If you guys are familiar with it, it's a huge building, it's like 5 floors, and there's like a club on top, and then there's like a rooftop club as well, okay? I was like, yeah, bro, I'm down, why not? So we get there, and there's a massive line outside. I'm talking like there's a massive line that's like wrapped around the building, okay? And so we get in line, we're waiting in line, and then we get up to the front door. The bouncer checks our IDs, and then we pay the small fee to get inside, okay? So we go inside, we climb up the stairs, and then we go into the club. And now, when we walk into the club, you guys, this club is absolutely packed. There's people everywhere. I'm talking like, there's people everywhere. You can't go through that without bumping into somebody. It's absolutely packed. So we're dancing around, we're having a good time. The DJ's playing his music. G grabbed a couple drinks, and then again, I don't drink, so I grabbed like a Red Bull or something like that. We're just dancing around, we're having a good time. We're talking to a couple people in the club, just chilling, just having a good time. And after a little while, these two girls come up to me, okay? And one of them goes, yo, do you have a vape? I don't smoke. I don't have a vape. No, I don't have a vape. She goes, oh, okay. And then I was like, yo, G. I said, yo, you got a vape, bro? He's like, eh. Now, at this point, he's all messed up. G is drunk, and even when we're at his house, he was like pre-gaming. He had been drinking previously, like I told you guys. So he is just out of his mind drunk. And I was like, "Yo, G, you got a vape, bro?" And he's like, he's being drunk and stuff, right? So now these girls are talking to us, and this one girl there are two girls standing right next to me, right? And the one girl's like talking to him, and then G is like talking to this girl, and he's like leaning in, and I think he was trying to flirt with her. I'm not sure. He was just drunk. I don't know if he even knew what he was doing. I don't know if he was trying to flirt or just trying to be too nice, but he was just drunk. He was just completely out of it. And he was talking to this girl, and he was like leaning in really close. And so this girl like just starts like talking to me. She goes, I'm lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, G. I said, she's not into you, bro. I said, she's a lesbian, bro. She's not into you. So the whole time this is happening, I'm like pulling on G's arm. I'm like, yo, bro, she's not into you. I'm like tugging him away. Because like clearly I think this girl is like feeling uncomfortable. She looks like she's uncomfortable. I'm like, yo, G, she's not into you, bro. She's not into you. And so finally, these girls they're like, oh, thank you, like, have a good night, whatever. So they walk off, okay? Now we're dancing around, having a good time still. The music is playing. Everyone's still rowdy, having a good time. People are dancing. It's crazy. It's a club. You know, it's just a crazy scene, right? So after a little while goes by, I look in the corner of my eye, and G takes out his lighter, and he takes out a cigarette, and he goes to light a cigarette in the middle of this club. And not even like 2 seconds later, after he like lit his cigarette for like a second, this huge bouncer comes up and just grabs G and starts pulling him out of the club. And I was like, oh shit. I said, shit. So I turn around and I start walking the other way because I didn't want to leave the club. I was having fun with all these beautiful women around me. The music's playing. I was having a good time. So I didn't want to get kicked out of this club. So I turn around and start heading the other way. And while G's getting pulled out of the club, I'm still dancing, having a good time. So like 2 minutes go by, or not even like that, and I was like, oh shit. I said, I can't let G walk out of here alone. I said, he's drunk, he'll get lost. So I leave the club, I run downstairs, and like there's this kid at the bottom of the stairs. I was like, yo, bro. I said, did you just see a kid with really long hair and a puffy coat like get kicked out of the club? He's like, yeah, bro, he's somewhere out on the street. I was like, all right, thanks, bro. So I go outside, and I start looking for G, okay? Now, like 5 minutes goes by, and G starts calling my phone. He's like, yo, bro, where are you? He's like, I got kicked out. I was like, yeah, I seen you, bro. I said, why the fuck did you just try to light a cigarette in the middle of the club? And he's all drunk, oh, I don't know, bro, like that. I was like, all right, bro, where are you at? So he finally tells me where we at, and we meet up after that, right? So we meet up, and now we're just walking around the streets of Saratoga. We're on Caroline Street. We're on a couple streets. We're just wandering around, like, aimlessly, just randomly walking around. And the whole time we're walking around, I'm, like, trying to, like, hold on G's, like, his jacket sleeve or something because he's drunk and he's, like, wandering off into the street. I just wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to get hurt or he wasn't going to, like, wander off the sidewalk and get hit by a car. So after G got kicked out of the club and I went and I found him, we started aimlessly just randomly walking around the streets of Saratoga, okay? And after a little while, I was like, yo, G, I said, I'm getting pretty tired, bro. I said, I think I'm ready to head home. He's like, yeah, bro, me too. He's like, I'm down to leave. I was like, all right. So we started walking back to my car, and I realized I don't remember where the fuck I parked my car at. I was like, oh, shit. And so normally, when you park your car somewhere, when you go on Apple Maps will ping your car's location. And for some reason, Apple Maps did not ping my current updated location when we went to the club. The location it had last pinged was at the casino. I was like, what the hell? Now, earlier in the story, I explained to you guys where I was from. And so that makes sense because we're walking around the streets of Saratoga where I am not familiar with. I am not from Saratoga. And I can't remember where the fuck I parked my car at. So to make a long story short, it took us 3 hours to find my car. And within that 3 hours of us trying to find my car, we witnessed a huge fight breakout. Some girl, I think that was related to that fight, came over and like shoved me mad hard, and then she apologized to me. What else happened? I walked up to a cop and I asked him on Caroline Street if he could help me find my car because I thought for some reason that maybe the police could help me ping my car. I don't know if they had like some sort of tracker on their computer or something. He said he could not help, and he probably thought I was like drunk or being an idiot or something, but I was dead ass serious because I literally had no idea where I parked my car at. So after 3 hours, we finally found my car. So after 3 hours of us randomly walking around the streets of Saratoga, we finally found my car. And then we headed home. I dropped G off, and then that was it. I went home and I went to bed. But that night was absolutely crazy, you guys. One of the best stories I've had in a while. I still remember that night to this day. And overall, it's just a really funny story. And honestly, it is one for the books. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.